Hello, what's up guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, my name is Emmanuel. In today's video we're gonna be creating a countdown clock and timer. As you can see, so if you don't know what that means, let me show you real quick. We're gonna do Python script, the Python the file. We're gonna give it 0 hours. We don't want to waste time, minute, and then we're gonna give it just 5 seconds. We're gonna run it. So we have that, 2 and 1, times up. Cool. So that's how it works basically. We're gonna learn how to do this with Python, and maybe if you want, at the end of the video you should be able to implement the days on your own. It should be a task you should try. Now let's get into the video. But before we take a step into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on my next video, because it's gonna be epic guys. Now let's get into the video. First thing we want to do is want to get input from users. We're gonna call that timer, and it's gonna be in the format something like this: 5 hours, 10 minutes for example, and then 5 seconds. So we're gonna come down here. What we want to do now is want to get this hour, the minute and the seconds in different variables. So I'm gonna do dot split on this string. Now if you know what dot split is, a string method. If you don't know about string methods, you should check my video on strings, my Python beginner series. What this does basically is it splits this string at every point it finds this, so an item in a list. Okay, so it's gonna make 5 an item in a list, 10 and 5. So we're gonna have a list with 3 items in it: 5, 10 and 5. So if I should print timer, and this is just it basically. You should understand it this way. And so now what we want to do is we want to get all of that into different variables. So we're gonna do multiple assignments here, and then we're gonna say timer. So the first one is going to be the hour, which will be timer 0. The second one is timer 1, and third one is timer 2. So as you can see, they're all strings, so we need to convert them to integers. So we're gonna do int, oh my, we're gonna do int, and then we're going, oh my goodness, we're gonna do int. Now so we have that should work well and fine. So next we want to do is, we've gotten that. Now let's just write the base code for how the timer works. So first we're gonna be using a while loop. We're gonna say while true, then we're gonna, the first one we always want to check for is, we always want to check if time is up. You're gonna see why I want to check that in a minute, but first thing we're gonna do here is, sorry about that, we're gonna print our hour, minutes and seconds in the format. So the format is gonna be like this. Okay, the next one is gonna be okay, 1 0 to D. I'm gonna explain this, just let me type it out, and 2 to D. Okay, so what this is basically is, this is gonna be the first item when I do dot format. Let me show you it. Dot format, this is gonna be hour, minute and seconds. So the first one is 0, it's gonna be here. So the second one, which is 1, is gonna be here, but it's gonna make this 2 digits. Okay, so this is gonna make this 2 digits. For example, if they gave me 9, it's gonna make it 09. As you saw what happened here, see this 00, this is due to this. Okay, and that's, we're applying the same thing on the seconds as well. So that should do. And then let me break. So if I run this, you see what we have there. Even though we didn't have 05 here, it still gave us 05, which is cool. And next we want to do is what I was explaining before. We're going to check if our hour is equal to 0, and if our minute is equal to 0, and if our seconds is equal to 0. So if that is, we want to print times up and want to break. Simple. So when we do that, it's gonna check at first. So for example, even if they gave us 0000 and they wanted to test our code, we won't have to just go through the stress of having to go to the bottom of the loop. We'll just do it up right here. We print 000 and then it prints times up. Okay, cool. Now so the next one to do is, now let me explain something to you. Imagine if our seconds gets to 0, what do you want to happen? By the way, the idea behind this is we are going to be decreasing seconds by -1. So when it gets to 0, we don't want it to get to -1 and keep decreasing. So what we want to do basically is, when it gets to 0, we're going to check if we have any minutes left. So for example, when this 5 gets to 0, we're going to check if there's any minute. Of course, there's 10 minutes, so we're going to -1 from this 10. So 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, and then we're going to add that 60 seconds to this. So that's going to keep going on till this gets to 0. And we'll handle the other case in a bit, but let's solve that now. So we're gonna come here, down here, and we're gonna say if seconds is equal to 0. So we want to check if our seconds is 0. Okay, but before we do that, so you don't get confused, I'm gonna do seconds is equals to seconds minus 1. So that will always minus seconds. So we keep minus in the seconds. Okay, so we're gonna have that at the bottom over there. So we're gonna say if seconds, let's put that in brackets. If seconds equals to 0, and we still have minutes. Okay, if minutes is greater than 0. So if our second no second and we still have minutes, then we want to say minutes minus 1, and then we want to add seconds to the seconds. So this takes a minute from seconds from the minute and then adds it to as seconds. So you can also shorten this to be minus equals to 1. So it's the same thing. Now when we do that, so what if our seconds gets to 0, minutes gets to 0, and we still have hours left. So we're gonna apply the same thing here. We're gonna come down and say then we're gonna say if minutes is equals to 0. So if you have no minute left and hour is greater than 0, pardon me, then we're gonna say hour minus 1, and then we're gonna add 60 to minutes. So if you don't know, the reason why we're having this is 60 seconds make 1 minute, okay, and then 60 minutes will make 1 hour. It's something common anyway. So after we do that, we're gonna keep minusing. Now let's try our code. If I should, okay, I don't want to do it for 5 hours. I'm gonna change this to 0. So we're just gonna try for 5 minutes. If I run it now, as you can see, I'm gonna come up here. It starts from 10:05, 10:04, 10:03, like that till it gets to the bottom, which means our code is working, but something is still wrong. It just runs at once. As you can see, it's running 605 milliseconds, which is not what we want. Now to fix that issue, where the magic is really is, we're gonna make use of the standard time module. Okay, so we're gonna say import time. It comes between with Python, and then after minus a second, we're gonna say time dot sleep. So this is gonna pause the program for a second. So when it gets to 5, it pauses for a second and gets to 4, which is simulating the timer itself. So let me change this to 5 seconds to 0, and then if I run it, Control B to run, it says invalid format specifier. What's wrong here? Let's see. Oh, maybe I did this. Let me press Control Z. When did I do that mistakenly? But never mind. Let me Control Shift Z to undo that. I mistakenly put something. I don't know when I did that, but just make sure the code works well anyway. Just look at it. It was a mistake I made. So we're gonna do Control B. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up, guys. But now the next thing we want to undo is, don't go anywhere. The code isn't done yet. So the next thing we want to undo is we're gonna open continue folder. Okay. Of course, we still have to make sure this is an input statement. So I'm gonna change an input statement right away. Input statements. Enter time. Okay. So we're gonna do cmd. Now we want to, just if you're on Windows, just do the exact same thing as I did. Notice my file is in this directory. If you're on Mac or Linux, just right click and you should see opening terminal in the menu. Opening terminal. What we are doing basically is we are opening the directory where our file is in this command prompt or terminal. So to run our file, we do python script dot py. Oh, sorry, it's python. As you can see, timer dot py. Pardon me. Timer dot py. So if I give it 80 hours, the thing is, we don't want to be able to set a timer for 80 hours. We want to be able to set only timers for 60 minutes, 60 hours, and 60 seconds only. So that's what we want to be able to do. That's that format, the standard format. Now, if you're wondering why this paused here, that's how it is on command prompt. I have to present that again for it to continue. Okay, so if you click on it, it's gonna stop. Now I'm gonna minimize this, or better still Control C to interrupt that. So now we're gonna fix that here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the whole of this inside a function, and then we're gonna come here. So we're gonna say define start timer. It's gonna take hour, minutes, and seconds. I'm gonna paste all of that in here. So I like this tab to indent it. Okay. So for example, if you are wondering why I use tab here, if you watch some of my videos, I usually tell you to use spaces instead. Just come up down here and then do convert indentation to spaces. Okay, so even if you use tab, it's going to convert it to spaces. So if I save that, and come down here. Just click on that and do this. As you can see, changes made, so it's converted to spaces. Okay, now we have that. So what we want to do is we're going to do it try except we undo any errors. For example, errors like when they give us letters here, okay, or if any error occurs inside the code itself. So we're gonna say start timer. We're gonna pass hour, minute, and seconds to it. So inside here, we're gonna say if hour is greater than 60 or minute is greater than 60. We can apply that to seconds if you want. Okay, it's greater than 60, which means max of 60 seconds. Print hour, minute, or time. Sorry about that. Or oh my, or seconds cannot be greater than 60. Okay, so you get the point. Type the same thing down there, and then you just do return, or you can do return on if you don't feel comfortable with that. It's the same thing. So we're gonna just return nothing basically, which means remember whenever I get to a return statement, it goes out of the loop. It doesn't continue. So that's what I want to do. And inside this except, we're gonna say except value error. So value error is what happens whenever I give it something else and it's trying to perform an operation with it. For example, if you are trying to perform this int function on a string. Let me show you what I mean really quick. I'm gonna cancel this. Save that. Open this. This is it, right? Okay, yeah. No, this is not it. This is the first one I opened. So we're gonna minimize, cancel this beta C. Okay, so we're gonna run the stuff, the code again. Now if I give it just random stuffs, as you can see we get value error. So value error is what happens whenever it tries to convert a string to an integer. So we want to undo that. That's what I'm trying to do here. So we're gonna say except value error, just print invalid input given. Okay, so that should undo that. And now our timer is complete. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. So we're gonna run the timer for one last time. Then we're gonna say let's set the hour to 0. Of course, we don't want to waste time. Then we're gonna set this to 10 seconds. So while this is going for 10, in this channel, if you're new here, what we do, we talk about is all things programming technology, and I'm gonna be going into web development stuff. So my idea behind doing all this basic Python beginners project and intermediate projects as well, I might be going to advance it. So when beginners are looking for where to find projects they can perform, they can just come to my channel, have see like a playlist where they can just follow project or intermediate, and that's what I'm trying to achieve basically. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up again, and I will see you in the next video. I love you guys. Peace out.